Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing this morning? I know we're all in a somber mood. A lot of anxiety going on for sure. Let's first make sure we can do a microphone check. We did one a second ago, and well, that was a second ago. We know how it goes. So I want to see who all is in here. Lala said there she is. Yes. Kat said, "You sound great, Brooks." Well. Good morning, Sarah Moon. Hello, Mystified. Nost it Potes. Hello, True Crime with Shannon. Wolf Cat. Made it in. Hello, Kelly Miller. There's our friend Gaelic Girl. Jamie Ownsby. Love you too. Bonnie. Hello on Sidelines. There's my girl Snow. Natasha. Hello. DT. I kind of fancy that guy. Amy. Hello. Hey, Muscles. What's up, girlfriend? Fun to ski. Slim, I see Level Headed made it in. He just finished up a live. Carla's in. A lot going on. I don't know where to begin. First of all, let's talk about the weather. Believe it or not, we are under a winter weather advisory. Middle of November in eastern Oklahoma. I cannot remember the last time this happened in November. We usually get a threat of something like that in January. Then we start getting teased with spring, I guess, in February. And then sometimes get like another blast of winter in March sometimes. You know what they say about March. In like a lamb, out like a lion, or vice versa. Yes, Kelly, the snow that's coming, they're saying around noon. I don't know where you're at, what time it's going to hit, or if it's going to miss you. It is exactly unusually cold for November. This time last year, I was wearing shorts and wondering if we were ever going to have a winter. Goodness. So, over the weekend, I was out and just doing a few things, trying to get ahead of things for the holidays, you know. I feel guilty even bringing that up for obvious reasons. And I knew something was going on because, well, I had a Google alert. And you guys, my friends, started reaching out to me and said they are digging up a backyard not far from Brandy and Tyler's. Well, just like all of you, my blood pressure went up into my ears. Came home. I did reach out to Brandy, not to say what's going on, not to say I'm going to do a live and I want you to jump on. I didn't do anything like that, just to say I'm praying hard. Praying hard for you. And not that I can be of any assistance or much assistance because, you know, you've got law enforcement there. You've got a lot going on. But if there's anything that you can think of that I can do for you, just say it. Just say it. They're saying that there was a very credible tip. Well, it has to be extremely credible because a judge granted a warrant. So there's got to be a good reason that they're there. I know people are already saying, I don't think he's there. Well, tell it to the judge. The judge already said there's enough probable cause to do this. Hello, Juicy Tequila Bobo. Most of the time when people give a credible tip, I'm just speculating, it's because they want something in return. So if they want something in return, they better make sure that their tip is pretty warranted, which it was because a judge gave signed off on this warrant. Now, the people that are in question that are connected to this address have been heavily discussed on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Their names are Stacy and Sarah Wandra. Stacy was arrested on Friday, and unless something changed in the last hour or I'm just looking in the wrong place, either could be very possible, as you know. I don't know what they picked her up on Friday. I don't know. Um, he's been in jail for several months. And let me see. She has charges. Let me sort through all this mess I've got going on here. She has charges pending from April of 2022 as well. Crime Time says, I think Sarah talked. I think Sarah might have talked too, but I just don't know what she got arrested for. Then again, I think considering the letter I saw that he wrote years ago to a judge, I think maybe he might have said something in jail. I don't know. But anyway, she was charged with a slew of things back in April. Aggravated assault, weapon, unlawful possession, evidence destruction. That piqued my interest. Controlled substance, no shocker there. Battery, he's in jail. Same old, a felon with a weapon. I tried to stay away from the comments as much as I could this weekend. Some of them I couldn't ignore. I didn't realize the true crime community had so many excavation experts. Oh, Lord. It is a small backyard, but they're not digging a swimming pool back there from what I am gathering from the news, what the news is reporting. Good Lord, I couldn't believe that. Yes, it's a small backyard, but like they're scraping back a layer, then using smaller tools, then another layer. They're analyzing what dirt that they dig up. It's quite a process. It's quite a process. It's grim. It's dark. It's sad. It is so sad. I just, Brandy's been on this show several times. She's been in chat. She might come into chat today. You never know. As always, we do our thing and lend what support we can. I cannot imagine though what that family is going through right now, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. I wouldn't trade places with them for $1 million. I wouldn't. There's just no freaking way. 2 weeks ago today, we all piled in everywhere, not just this channel, for the press conference about Delphi. And Doug Carter has been saying for years that this person is hiding in plain sight, could be hiding in plain sight. Well, this could be another in plain sight. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This could be another in plain sight if it's going the way it looks. The house where they are excavating is 4 minutes away. Fruitland's a small town, about 6,000 population. Delphi, about 3,000. And I could honestly see how this could be kept quiet. I honestly could. I know some people say there's no way. I don't see where they're saying there's no way. Because of course. No one is saying that, at least here, because I've been talking to you guys in the Facebook group, the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. We don't have one specifically for Michael. I just got back into Facebook groups recently, and I realized recently why I got away from him. But anyway, the big question is, how could they have been in the backyard digging? I'm using nice words here, with all of this going on. We don't know that they were doing anything like that the day that Michael was reported missing. We don't know. All of this is very, very new and panning out. I'm going to play you know what we do around here, guys. I'm going to play a news clip from almost about 17 months ago. So it's going to show you 2 days after Michael was reported missing, they were still going door to door. I know it was said on another channel, Chris McDonough, he is not anywhere near part of this case. He's former law enforcement. He just gives an opinion like we do. His opinion obviously is a little more educated than mine because he's former law enforcement. He doesn't have access to the case file, but he did say that they would have shook up the SOs before. You know, they would have gotten to them first. It's my understanding that the people that lived in that home are not on that list. The people next door are, but they're not digging up their backyard. They're not digging up their backyard. A lot of weird things with this couple. A lot of weird things. All right, there they are right there. That's Stace. That's Sarah. She posted that. Their Facebook's pretty public. Nomad said, I can use any reasonable recap I can get. I only heard of this case last month. That's another thing with this case. We've covered it on this channel. When I started covering it, Kat, and she's going to be up here in a minute, so is Level. They've both been heavily covering this case. I was like, where have I been? I've never heard of this case. These two had a lot of weird stuff going on around the time of Monkey's disappearance. Sarah was in the ER the day before. This is posted by Stacy. I'm feeling really worried about my wife, Sarah. I brought her to the emergency department in Ontario, Oregon. She's not feeling good at all. She's having a lot of pain in her side of her stomach. So this is the day before. He goes into, I love you, baby, feel better, and stuff like that. The day after Michael went missing, he posted an article, Fruitland Boy 5 missing since Tuesday night. This is the day after. Five days later, he changed his profile picture to that of Michael Vaughan. People asked him if that was him. I about passed out when I saw that comment. Is that you, Stacy? He said, no, this is a child that went missing in our neighborhood and has been gone for 5 days and no one can find him. He's only 5 years old. And then he posted the flyer. They had the flyer in their home. There are so many questions right now. There are so many questions. Sarah posted this. This was in November of 2021. So roughly 4 months, a little over 3 months actually, since Michael had been recorded missing. She said, watch out. You are walking into traps. Guard your children. Take it from me, I promise. This made me almost pass out. It says public schools are the epicenter of America's values implosion and stuff like that. Also, it's a red flag. I'm just getting this from their Facebooks, all right? I'm not reading too much. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but she jumped on the, I mean, I guess you can't be overly religious, but into the very, 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 very religious soon after Monkey was reported missing, soon after he went missing. Now, as of right now, Lone Wolf posted these pictures in Discord. I'm sickened. I am. Like, I'm sickened. This is the backyard. This is an aerial. And as you can see, they're scraping, like they're just barely scraping the surface. That's one picture. And there's another one kind of from the side. So they're just not out there with a backhoe just digging and digging and digging. This could take a long time. This really could take a long time. 4 minutes away. 4 minutes away. Again, I couldn't imagine being Brandy and Tyler right now. For one reason, I'm thinking back to my children growing up, and it was never uncommon for them to ride their bikes, go in the backyard, play in the front yard. I was outnumbered. I couldn't keep an eye on all three of them. There's just no way. I'd be lying if I told you I did. I was outnumbered. Or them to say I'm going to go not tell me they were going to go. Can I go to T's house or, this one's house or something like that? Sure, they just ran to the next door. 4 minutes away. 4 minutes away. Yes, Jesse, hang on. Jesse wants me to read something again. This was posted November 2nd, 2021 on Sarah Wandra's Facebook. I don't really care about what she shared so much, but it's what she typed. Watch out. You are walking into traps. Guard your children. Explanation, explanation, explanation. She said, take it from me. I promise. Take it from me. I promise, is what she said. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's sad. It's depraved. And like I said, I cannot imagine what Brandy and Tyler are going through. Aunts, uncles, the siblings, his little baby sister, his older brother, his older sister. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I just cannot imagine what they're going through. So I've got a couple of people backstage, friends of the channel. They have been both covering this case. So I'm going to bring them up and we're just going to discuss where we're at right now, talk about where we started out almost 17 months ago. I came in later. So, sorry, my mind is all over the place, guys. And I'm not going to open up the panel today. We're just going to get caught up with where we're at right now, see how the day unfolds, and then, of course, continue discussing and putting out there where they're at in their search for little monkey. Good morning, Kat. How are you?
Hey, Brooks. Yeah, I'm really caught up with the case. Obviously, I've been quite invested in it since the start, really, and found this weekend really quite tough. Same as, you and other people. It's been really tough to kind of watch what's unfold. And yeah, like you, I'm the same. I can't imagine what Brandy and Tyler and their other children are going through right now. I did also message Brandy just to let her know that I was thinking about her, praying for them, and anything that I could do to help. But I guess right now it's just waiting and praying and waiting and praying. That's all we can really do.
That's all we can do. I mean, it's a very helpless feeling, and if I'm feeling helpless, I can't imagine how they're feeling.
No, I can't either. I said that last night. I think whatever we're going through right now in terms of emotion, like times it by a million, and it's probably not even close to what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But
And it's my understanding, and I didn't hear this directly from her, that they do not know these people. They've never heard of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be common. And we went through the press conference. You were on panel with me.
Yeah.
I think Level was too at one point, and we were talking about the press conference in July for him missing 1 year.
Yeah.
And Police Chief Huff
Mm-hmm.
mentioned some people that are uncooperative.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we found the uncooperative ones. I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. I think there was at the beginning of the case, or like really early on in the case, there was a huge search of the neighborhood. But like we were just saying about that news report thing, they were still going door to door. I mean, even like 2 months after, they were still turning up on people's houses on that estate, like that area neighborhood, and people were still letting them in. People, they didn't even have to get warrants for the majority of the properties. People were just opening their doors and letting them come in and search. It just kind of really makes me wonder how this couple have gone so far under the radar. And I'm not accusing anyone, and I'm not throwing any shade in anyone's direction. We don't know anything yet, and obviously there are no answers, but it's just so close to home that it just makes me think, like, how did they manage to slip under the radar if they were involved?
Right. And we are not accusing these people of anything except for the fact that they are excavating a home and they're both
Right.
in jail. Now, they're
Right.
not in jail for anything related to Michael Vaughan.
Right.
So the people that want to shame and say, don't put out misinformation, well, those are the same people that called for Brandy and Tyler to be arrested.
Right.
So I'm just not, I mean, I'm not gonna have a pissing match about anything, but
No.
I'm definitely gonna talk about the fact that they are excavating the
Mm-hmm.
backyard and that they have a warrant from a judge to do so,
Mm-hmm.
and that they have a very credible tip that makes them believe that they're going to come across the remains of little Michael Vaughan.
Right.
So misinformation my ass. This is
Right.
facts. This isn't my opinion.
Yeah, it's not my opinion that they are just randomly digging a garden in or a yard, sorry, in the same neighborhood 4 minutes walk away from where Monkey went missing. I mean, there's no coincidences here. By the same score, we don't know who said what, why, where, and how, and who was where, and on the day, and all of this kind of stuff. But there's a lot of things since this information about the dig come up that suddenly started to click in my mind, how things might actually make sense where they haven't really made sense before.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of coincidences, did you know that the true crime community had so many excavation experts?
I was laughing backstage when you said that, because it just happens in every case, doesn't it? First, we've got all these cadaver dog experts, and we have all of these heat-seeking, body finding experts, and now we've got excavation experts. I mean, goodness gracious me, there's so many experts in this community. I don't know what we're doing here, Brooks, to be honest.
I was going cross-eyed, going, well, this is what you have to do. And if you have a backhoe, you're going to destroy evidence.
Okay.
Just watch the news clips.
Right.
They explain all that.
Yeah.
They were, let's see, we've had dog experts show up in every case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dog experts.
Yeah.
Had a lot of people tweeting the reporter, telling her what to ask. Because, being a journalist, she wouldn't know. Her mind was blank. She had no idea what to ask. And I just kind of thought, today, this might be a good weekend to spend time with your own children.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned a lot about excavation. I will say that. Level and see where we're at. I know he just closed up a live talking about this, and then we're going to look at a clip from almost 17 months ago. Hold on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, Level, how's it going?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good.
Hey. Yeah, we're okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
Sad.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that the amount of people now that are for the family, and prayers and support and all that now is tremendous and
good.
So
good, because a wave of positivity, a wave of everybody working in one direction,
right,
makes a much, much, much bigger wave than just a ton of just shitty nonsense. So have you heard from Brandy Level?
Yeah, last couple nights, I've been in contact with her, but some things I can say, some things I can't. But Brooks, I do have the answer to your question, and I cannot say it here, obviously. And you know what question it is that you were asking, and I did get the answer this morning. So
you know why there's so many excavation experts in the true crime community?
not that question. It was a question you asked me, I think, on Saturday morning.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really the one that's on my mind right now. I couldn't believe all those comments. People talking about how you're supposed to do this. And I was like, and then, you know, the reporter, she's been having to drive about an hour away. And she said, she explained how they're basically peeling back layers of that backyard. Like I said, you know, I'm not trying to be a smart ass here, but they're not digging a swimming pool. This could take the rest of the week.
Right, and after all of this time, if people seriously think that they're going to go in there and destroy any chance that they're going to find anything, I mean, it's just insane.
Mm-hmm. All right, so to get an idea of the door-to-door search, I'm just going to play a clip from, this was from 2 days after Michael went missing, was reported missing. I know there's a lot of, besides excavation experts, there's a lot of search and rescue experts that are saying they didn't do enough the first couple of days. So hold on.
Yeah.
Michael, who also goes by Monkey, was reported missing Tuesday night in Fruitland. While law enforcement continue to search for clues as to where he might be, support around the Treasure Valley is pouring into the community. Teams of people searching the town for hours today, all hoping to find Michael. Our Tristan Lewis has been following this story for us the past 2 days. Tristan, what stops are being pulled out in this search?
Kim, Fruitland police say water levels in area canals were reduced yesterday, but they had no success in finding Michael there. Agencies around the valley are stepping up to provide help however they can. Every second matters in a case like this, so crews can narrow the search and point their resources in more targeted areas.
They need help, and you gotta help.
A community working together to find 5-year-old Michael Vaughan, who has been missing for more than 48 hours.
It's amazing. It's a great community. There's lots of support.
Fruitland police organized a community-wide search Thursday to locate the boy, who also goes by Monkey. The city was split up into 4 zones for volunteers to search. Folks were door knocking, asking neighbors questions if they have seen anything strange in the past few days, all in hopes to get any answers to where Michael may be.
It's pretty incredible to know that you've got a community and that much support when we need it.
Neighboring agencies have also been aiding in the search for Michael, like Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Unit. They were called out Tuesday night to search, the same night he was reported missing. They say it's important to act quickly whenever anyone is missing, but possibly even more so when it's a child.
If they're experiencing anxiety from in being lost and being separated from their family and loved ones and surroundings that they're familiar with, you easing that emotional distress and getting them back to their family is clearly of paramount importance.
Their part in locating Michael consisted of using search teams, trackers, canines, drones, even bikes.
All of those resources would be in play for a search like this at the discretion and coordination with law enforcement, who is overseeing this particular search.
While Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue was called off on Wednesday afternoon, Fruitland police are continuing to coordinate search efforts. As community members remain involved in the search for Michael, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue says it's crucial for people to stay in touch with officials while doing so.
We don't have teams of folks that are searching the same area repetitively and potentially inadvertently missing areas that are important that need to be searched.
As of tonight, this search remains very active, and police are asking everyone in the area to thoroughly search their property. If anyone is doing a search and comes across anything, you are asked to contact Fruitland Police as soon as possible. And Fruitland Police, again, want to thank everyone for their continued support, especially in these last couple of days. Kim?
The support is amazing. Tristan, Fruitland police, have they yet to release any details of what Michael was doing when he disappeared? Was he outside playing? Have they mentioned anything like that today?
Not many new details have been released since last night after we got that news release. So a lot of those details are still up in the air as to what we do know.
Okay. I have an echo for some reason. I have to get rid of that. So it was an overwhelming outreach of support from the community. You can see in that clip how they had the community divided up and going in different directions, going door to door, asking questions. I'm not going to be shocked if the people that were 4 minutes away weren't part of this. Right now, I'm on the fence about it because they are attention seekers. They have a lot of stuff on their Facebook that they seem to enjoy. You know, oh, I love my wife so much. I'm so lucky to have my wife, and you know, a lot of stuff about, you know, religion, and you know, they're frequent posters. So I think if they were out you know, in this search, they definitely would have wanted the accolades from that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I find it that I've got so many questions, and I know none of them can be answered because obviously we don't know what the answers are from the search yet. But every time I think about this, I've got so many more questions. Like the picture of her in the video where she has a picture of Monkey on her fridge behind her. Now, I can understand if you're going out in the community, putting up billboards outside your house, you know, showing everyone you meet pictures of Monkey and, you know, things like that. But to have such a private display of an image of Monkey inside your house on your fridge, does anyone else not find that just a bit odd?
It's creepy. I got to find the picture real quick to put it up. Hang on.
It's really bizarre because it's almost like you don't want anyone else to see it. You've just got it on your fridge. What good is it doing on your fridge? It's like a missing poster. Why would you have it on your fridge? Why would you not have it in your window? Why would you not have it outside on your lawn? You know, they seem like such extroverts in terms of the amount of attention that they seem to need and want, and the things they talk about, and all this private life business going on TikTok and Facebook and all of this, but yet something so public that's happening in their neighborhood is on their fridge in their house.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a common thing in smaller communities, though, when I don't know how to put this into perspective of people, but when there's a small community and somebody goes missing, if you're not one of the people that are out there, whether you took him or not, then it's being questioned why you weren't out there, which is appalling to some, but it just falls in line with a type of community. There's only 5,000 people that live there, and you're one neighborhood over. I would imagine that you would be out there looking as well.
I thought about that myself, but then when I saw the post that she had been to the ER the day before, then they could easily say, well, she's been sick or whatever. I don't know. Here's the picture we were talking about. If you can see in the background. Mystified said yes, but on the fridge, like they're looking at this. So if you look over her, I guess it would be her right shoulder. There's Monkey's missing flyer. And they're digging and they're excavating their backyard.
And he changed his profile picture to Monkey as well on the 1st of August.
And that does me in more than anything. Something about August 1st really sets me sailing. Why 5 days later? He shared an article the day after. Mm-hmm. Then 5 days later. Now, I don't know how long he left it up. I have no idea, because they had a lot of weird stuff going on around this time, because couple weeks after Michael went missing and he's got the profile picture, he puts up, hey, everyone, please be praying for my baby, Sarah. Like I said, they like the attention. They They seem to post pretty much every little thing that goes on in their life, except
Right.
Michael's disappearance.
Right.
She is very sick in the hospital in Fruitland. She's asking for everyone to pray for her, that she gets better. We need this beautiful girl healed in the name of Jesus. Jesus don't do that type of healing. Not for them.
It's so much. Honestly, I spent all day yesterday going through pretty much every single thing on every one of their social medias, including her mum as well, her mother's account. But I mean, there was just one video on their TikTok that was posted on that day. Now, whether it was filmed on that day, I have no idea. But there was one video on their joint TikTok, which was from the 27th of July, 2021. And it was the view out of a window of a moving vehicle. And they were showing mountains and fields and whatever is around there. It was just really bizarre that happened to be posted on that actual day.
Yeah, I'm going to play that here in just a second. Lanny Lynn, it's not strange. I had Elizabeth Smart's advo on my wall until she came home and I was in Florida. Oh, I get that. And it wouldn't be strange for anybody, but they didn't excavate your yard. You have nothing to do with it. A judge didn't sign a warrant to dig up your backyard, Lanny. It's strange for them. It's strange for them.
And I don't know if Levy, whether you've heard anything more about it, but to me, the question of this white Honda Pilot is still alarming around my brain at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Well, just there's certain things that I can say and I can't, and that's one thing.
We're not asking you to say anything you can't say. We don't even need to bring that up.
No. So Honda Pilot, that's been out there for months. The people were non-compliant, and it may, they just were non-compliant. You still have the guy that was walking in the park that was non-compliant and still hasn't come forward as well. And as far as I know, he may have. We don't know.
Just where I was going to with it, though, was that while I was going through their social media yesterday, I found out about this Faith Taxi company that they have. Faith Taxi, where they ask people to bring their own vehicle and have their own insurance, and basically it's a self-employed taxi company, right?
I have your post you shared in Discord. Let me read it real quick so we can all be on the same page.
Yeah.
Sarah posted in March of, I don't know if this is 2021 or 2022, when they started Faith Taxi, which they're so stupid, but anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Hi, this is Sarah Wandra, owner of Faith Taxi LLC in Fruitland, Idaho, etc. I don't know what the etc. is for. Either you're in Fruitland or not. We are going to be rapidly growing. So please, if you have a car and are in the Treasure Valley, even all the way to Boise, I'm going to be needing possible part-time drivers for now. Work on your own availability, use your own car, keep your own proceeds, 1099. Or, as I call it, self-employed. But okay, Sarah, be your own boss in a sense, meaning you're going to give us half the money. We're just going to dispatch where to go. But anyway, that's really what that means. We work a bit differently around here than your typical taxi. Please no ... messages on this post about the job. If you want to inquire, please call Sarah directly. And that's cut off. Okay. So it could have very well, this Honda Pilot could have very well have been someone in the area going to get their money. They had been dispatched on a taxi job. They were borrowing the car. I don't know.
So one thing I was thinking, so I saw this post too, but I don't know how this works because I don't drive Uber or Lyft or anything like that. Would this be some type of, I don't know the answer to this, and it's been bothering me all weekend. If you have a Faith Taxi LLC, and let's say that, I don't know if I don't know in a town of 5,000 if they have Ubers there or not, or if that's what they were trying to do is deploy people kind of like a Uber or like a Lyft type of situation in a town of 5,000 people. I don't know. It's just, I guess they would not do it as they couldn't use the actual apps, I guess. I don't
Well,
know. It's
you,
strange.
I mean, it could have just been because of the weekend. I don't know. Out of curiosity, I used my Uber app and it showed no Ubers available. So I don't know if it was just because of something going on for the weekend, or Uber just is not needed in a town of 6,000. So they developed this Faith Taxi, and they need people to use their own vehicles for dispatching. I saw one post they went to Washington and back and stuff like that. I'm just saying that the Honda Pilot could have been in relation to their business. I don't know.
And here's the thing as well, is that this wasn't the original Faith Taxi LLC, because when I searched it on Facebook, there's already a Faith Taxi LLC in Fruitland, Idaho, set up before this franchise, which I presume is a franchise because it has exactly the same name, but it's owned by Sarah Wandra. But the original Faith Taxi LLC in Fruitland, Idaho, they're not even members of that group. They have nothing to do with it. It's already established. This seems like it could be a franchise or something of that company.
Well, they're trying to make it look like
They own
it
the
appears to me like that they're somehow affiliated with them. That'd be like me opening up a catering business in my house and calling it Pizza Hut.
But that's even more sketchy to me, because it's kind of like, well, we're just going to use their name and we're just going to use their business model and everything else, but we're going to have nothing to do with that company. Like, and then this Honda Pilot, which, okay, granted, was probably the year before that it was hanging. There's just something doesn't sit right with me with this whole taxi thing and the Honda Pilot, and the people that own the Honda Pilot have never cooperated or come forward, non-compliant, etc., etc. I'm kind of like, this is all just rattling around in my head, I guess.
Oh, me too. I've got a million questions and answers for none today. That's why we're just, getting through it the best we can. So at the press conference, and we've seen this picture, they said this is someone, I mean, they didn't say this is somebody they want to talk to. Now, I still have no idea who this person is. It is not Tyler. People say it looks like Tyler. It's not Tyler. Tyler was standing 2 feet behind the chief when he was looking for this person. Yeah, I understand the chief is not an investigator, but he is smart enough to know it's not Tyler. Okay, so Stacy Wandra and Sarah look nothing like this person. They do not have the same body shape at all. So I'm still very curious as to who this guy is. I think, is this at a car wash, I believe, or at the water park? Where was this at again?
It's at the splash pad. Well, close to the splash pad.
So the splash pad is at Crestview Park, right?
That's kind of on the other side of Southwest 9th.
Okay.
It's not far from their house at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so the house where they're digging is like a 4 to 5 minute walk. So you put that into perspective of the splash pad is only probably 1 minute away from their house.
Yeah.
The interesting thing on that picture of that guy is that they took a still photo of it, and it wasn't a very good one. Obviously, that was on a video recording, CCTV, and they did not release the rest of it. And I'm sure there's reasons behind that, but yeah, because it would be interesting to see how the person walks, because you can tell a lot by the way that somebody walks, and it could have helped to get them to come forward, but we don't know. Maybe they did come forward finally.
Could be, and like Snow said, she said, I hate to say it, but it's very possible more than just two were involved.
Right.
Right now, this is very, very, very just broke over the weekend. Alicia, Brandy asked for people to please not spot. She said not to reach out to people in the neighborhood that could be potential suspects. As far as sharing the story, absolutely, she wants that done.
Yep.
There are so many red flags surrounding this couple, just what little bit I know right now. And it's just disgusting. It is just disgusting. I believe that the police, they've been transparent thus far. I think that they will continue to release what they can. I already put a comment up on up on a showcase comment, something that by now we all know, most of us know, that they keep as much stuff to themselves as they can. And so I do understand that there are a few people that are saying that they have been told certain information by the chief of police himself. I'm not here to call anyone out, but if they can't trust the family with information, strangers are persona non grata.
Right.
I just so you back to you saying that this is speculation in my opinion here, and I said it on my channel right before I came here. They don't fit the profile of somebody that's going to be able to pull it off by themselves, and that's my personal opinion. And I could be completely wrong, but I just think that the mannerism in some of the videos that those two have posted on their social media is not going to give off the I don't know how do you say it in a respectful way, how to run and grab a child. And that's just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean that they didn't do it. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions with these two as well. I'm not trying to be gruesome or upset anybody. So if you need earmuffs, or walk away for a minute. I am not, let me put it this way. I've done some landscaping, okay, where I have had to plant rose bushes and things like that. These two do not seem to me that they could, well, let's face it, they have equipment excavating the backyard. They don't seem like real go-getters to me. We're not talking about moving potting soil around. It's hard work to dig a hole like that. I'm not trying to be too graphic. We're all adults here.
Right. And also, I think given the circumstances around the air search, the land search, everything else in the weeks after, I don't think it was, I hate to say it, but if he is there, I don't think he was put there straight away.
I don't either.
Just because it doesn't make sense that while all of the air searches and everything else were going on, that they'd be out there digging a hole in the middle of all of that. I mean, yes, they may have been hiding in plain sight. Yes, that is a thing that actually happens, but I don't know many people really, or many cases where they would have taken the risk while there's an active search going on, not only an active search from the air and on the land, but door to door as well, that they're going to go out there and start digging. And that kind of brought me back to the video that was on their TikTok of that day of them driving around in an open area filming the scenery. Was that a pre-prepared alibi, or was that them driving around having already got Monkey away as an alibi? It kind of just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right that they would have put him there on that day.
Oh, I don't think they did. No, I agree with you 100%. Now, I mean, that's just my thought and opinion. This could have been going on in plain sight.
Right.
This could have been going on while people were, because let's face it, by the time they call 911, they go through Tyler and Brandy's house. They start working outward, the house next door, the house across the street. They're rounding up who is on the RSO list and stuff like that.
But they're in the air as well. There was air searches going on. So from the air, you're going to be able to see if someone's digging in their back garden, right?
Well, I don't know. When did they bring out the helicopters and the drones? I have a big question about that, because if you see a recently dug up spot, then you would definitely go and check that out. Hey, I see, we have, we want to check this out. But I'm
pretty sure it was quite extreme because they thought he'd wandered off, and I'm pretty sure within 24 hours they had out air helicopters and drones and everything else out there. Pretty sure it was like one of the first things they did was launch into the air.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I don't want to say because I don't remember. Do you know, Level, when they called off the drones and the helicopters?
When they called them off, I think it was I don't know 100%, but I do know that they did extensively search. So I would say that I don't know. I can't say. I mean, I would presume that they went for like a week. I was waiting for Lana to reply here in chat, and she probably knows. But I don't have it off the top of my head. I mean, they were.
I remember the really, really early news reports. They were showing the helicopters up in the air and the drones and stuff like that. They were showing aerial photography and all of that kind of thing. It just would have surprised me if within the first week, they had an opportunity to get out there in the garden without being noticed. But then again, were they even in when the police knocked on their door? You know, they could have even have gone under the radar that much. They could have just been out of the neighborhood for a couple of weeks before they came back, and you know, there's no telling at this point, I guess.
No, I have a feeling, just like every case, if you follow and you continue to follow as it all comes out, it's going to blow your mind. Brooke, hello, girlfriend. She said, just joining. Are the neighbors suspects? They haven't named anybody a suspect. I'm not naming anybody a suspect, but they are slowly peeling back, excavating a backyard 4 minutes away from the home that Michael Vaughan lived in. So I'm going to play a couple of news clips, not back to back. I'm going to play this one and we'll discuss it.
We also continue to follow breaking news in Fruitland. Fruitland police are searching a home in connection to the disappearance of Michael Vaughan. Here's a map of the area we're talking about. You can see the home police are searching in proximity to where Michael's home is. Our crews on the scene say it's only about 4 minutes away. Our Abby Davis has been.
All right, let's look.
Did you pause it, Bert?
Yeah, I paused it. Let's look at this map. We can see the proximity and how it's not across the street. They didn't know these people, from understanding. Welfare office, what are you talking about? You said flunky moderators. We have the best mods on YouTube. I don't know what you're talking about, welfare office. Anyway, here is the map. So they have it marked where.
Yeah, the two red dots. So you've got the red dot where the arrow's pointing out saying Vaughan family home, and then just to the left and up is another red dot, and that's the house where they're searching the yard.
The other red dot is the home where they're searching.
And the dogs lost the scent on the corner of Southwest 8th and Southwest 9th. That's where they lost Monkey's scent. But this home is almost further into the neighborhood, because their house is almost, if you go straight down that road, it's on the way out of the neighborhood. It's the only road in and out. Whereas their house where they're searching is much further back into the neighborhood.
Yes, I see that. That's what, okay. And then again, if you missed at the beginning, here is an aerial of where they're searching. It's a small backyard, yes, but they're having to, and they had to get skilled people to do this. This isn't your run-of-the-mill, someone who just learned how to run this equipment. They're like barely scraping this yard up. And then they said they're using smaller tools. You get the pit. You get the drill.
And they're also using dogs as well.
And they had 2 dogs out there yesterday. Yes.
My biggest thing is the by following this and knowing information that I know, the timelines of some certain individuals here that I don't know if they've been cooperative or not. They still don't add up to me, and it still boggles my mind as to what is exactly going on. And as always, the law enforcement there has always been transparent. So eventually, when we figure something out or they figure something out, they'll address the media when needed. So,
see, I'm starting to form a bit of an idea of what I think happened here. And I'm not going to say it because I just don't think it's the right time to be kind of speculating on it. But the more I look at these maps, and the more I think about the timeline and the events that we know definitely happened, who saw Monkey when, I'm starting to get a picture of how this happened. And I'm not going to say it because I just think we just really need to hope and pray that the answers come via this search, I guess. But yeah, I'm sorry. Carry on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more, the more I look at it, the more it's dawning on me. Like there's a lot of realities that suddenly, since Saturday, have been really dawning on me, kind of minute by minute. Oh, okay, so then that happened. Then that could have meant that this happened. This happened. I don't know how much of it is just my mind racing away with me, but things are starting to make sense. Like things are starting to fit into a jigsaw now, where they haven't for a long time.
I'm right there with you, and trust me, my mind's going a million different directions.
Mm-hmm.
This train is off the track right now. Thank you, Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
Welcome, Alicia. I think my biggest question right now is where, and we're all adults here, where was Monkey the day he was reported missing? This case has so many parallels, and I do a lot of case comparison. But when I think about they're just 4 minutes away, you have a small community, and it could be another in plain sight, or was definitely if it's them, like Delphi. And I think they had to have had some help. I don't see these two digging like that. I just don't.
I don't believe that Monkey went from this house to that house directly. No, I don't. And I think that something happened in the meantime, in between those two addresses, and that may be where he's ended up. But I don't think he walked from that house all the way down to the corner of Southwest and Southwest 8th and Southwest 9th, and then walked 4 minutes directly to that house and knocked on their door. No, I don't think that happened. I think something else happened because the Honda Pilot is parked down here. That's probably not helping because I'm pointing to it and you can't see where I'm pointing. And then the Honda Pilot leaves the neighborhood. And then 17 months later, they're searching this home in the corner here. Something happened in the meantime, in my opinion. He was taken out of that neighborhood and away from that neighborhood, and may have at some point been brought back to that neighborhood, because all of that time they were searching and going door to door, and people were letting them search in their houses, and there was aerial support and drone support and land searches and dogs and everything else. It wasn't constantly for months, but over the space of months, there were several random drop-in searches, like, if you like. I just can't see that Monkey walked from that door to that door, and that's where he met his fate. It just does that.
I don't think so either. I think he was lured away.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a snatch situation, because I think somebody would have noticed that. I'm going to answer Cassie's question. Cassie, thank you for supporting the channel. Can you please tell us where she is, if she is in jail, what charges, and when? They arrested Sarah on Friday. And like I said, I don't know as of right now what she was picked up on. Both her and Stacy got in trouble in April. Let me put the charges up again. So I'm going to assume they grabbed her in relation to something on this list. I'm just assuming, but I have not, and I checked it this morning. There's nothing on there showing what they grabbed her for on Friday. So back in April, by the way, it was around the time of their anniversary, because they were both posting anniversary BS. Assault aggravated with deadly weapon, unlawful possession, evidence destruction. Like I said, that definitely piqued my interest. It's not in relation to Monkey, though. Controlled substance and battery.
So,
this lovely Christian woman that she professes herself to be.
Yeah, that's a long ways, and a lot of houses in between their house and that house. There's no doubt in my mind that he wouldn't have not been noticed by anybody in the subdivision. So, back to those charges. So those were in April. We're what, 7 months since then?
Yeah.
So there no convictions, no plea deals, no nothing on those.
Interesting as well. Like, he's been in jail since May.
Right.
On those charges, on his charges, he's been in jail since May, and it was July when they came out and did the year press conference when they said, I think it was the first time they said that there were people they knew of that were not cooperating, that they had several suspects, and at the time I think at the time we were even saying, because they said something about, they were known, but we were saying they're not necessarily known to Brandy and Tyler and the family, but known to the police, or they're in the same area as them, they just don't know them. I remember making that comment at the time when they said that in the press conference, and I'm wondering if that May, when he got sent to jail, and he's been in jail ever since, they were trying to get information from him. Perhaps they already suspected something. Perhaps they already had some kind of information around him, and he wasn't compliant. Somebody was not compliant. They made that quite clear in their statement at a year, and that was July, and he's been in prison since May. He's been in jail since May.
Well, and I looked at his paperwork and stuff, and I'm confused. So some of the stuff on there, there's check marks or X's for things that I don't know if that means that that's what they're charged for, and then ones that aren't. There is some things on there that I question.
Yeah.
And
I think I know what you're talking about as well, because I think I did exactly the same thing. I saw one particular thing and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, that don't sound good. That sounds good.
But there's no check, there's no X by those things. But why would you put them on a paper if I don't know if those are to come and be charged later with, or maybe those, I don't know if Brooks, do you have his charges?
I do not. If you could send them to me, I'll put them up on the screen. I didn't get everything loaded. I was kind of behind this morning. Like I said, this train is off the tracks right now. So some people are speculating it was some sort of violation of parole or something. Now, he wrote a letter to the judge years ago, and he spoke of having an IQ of 62.
Mm-hmm.
I find this really odd. For one, that he, with an IQ of 62, would understand what that means, but I don't know. I'm not an expert. And on top of that, he had mentioned something about institutionalized. It kind of seems like he's a little smarter than he lets on. So him not possibly being, trying to find the right word. I think that he could have been sitting in jail since May. And I mean, criminals talk all the time in jail, all the time. They confess to stuff they never did. They just
right.
Word salad all the time. I'm wondering if he didn't say something that piqued their interest, and then they went to her, because he's the one that's been on the inside all this time. She's been free as a lark.
Yeah, well, that's what makes me wonder whether it was him that talked, because he's been in jail longer, and she got arrested on the Friday, and then they start searching her yard.
Boo Sheet said, has it been verified that they definitely lived there when Michael went missing? Asking because I've heard everything I've seen shows that they lived there at the time. I don't know.
I just sent you the motion for detention on Messenger, Brooks.
Okay.
For him. Let's see what Levin was talking about, the crosses beside certain things. Does that mean that that's what he was detained on?
Let me load this. I'll play this clip. Hang on.
Okay.
But I'm looking at the map. I could see, they say, when you hear a 4-minute walk, well, that's not just across the street.
Right.
So they don't really live anywhere near each other per se. They're not like on top of each other.
If I thought about a house that was 4 minutes walk away from my house, I wouldn't know who lived in it.
No.
So it's not necessarily beyond the realms of possibility that you wouldn't know who lived a 4-minute walk away from you.
No, hell no.
Been there throughout the day today, and she is live on the scene to update us with the latest information. Abby?
Doug, law enforcement have been out here since Friday after they received a very credible tip. That is what the police department told us, suggesting that Michael Vaughan's possible human remains are in this nearby neighborhood, specifically this backyard over here. You can see, let's take a little bit of a walk. The road has been closed to through traffic since Friday evening. You can come over here, you can see this crime scene tape, and then continuing walking, you can see there is they're excavating the entire yard. We were told about 3 to 4 inches. You can see that dump truck there. They have been taking piles of dirt out since about 11 a.m. this morning. Where they're taking it, they said they're taking it to an off-site location where it will be processed. Now, like I said before, police obtained a search warrant and began working Friday night. They have plans to dig 3 to 4 feet deep. You can see a backhoe just went in and it's being used to dig up the topsoil. Now, Huff said in no way that they believe what they are doing now will contaminate any sort of evidence that they find, if they do find any. Now, crews involved in the search include Idaho State Police, Fruitland Police, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Fruitland Public Works, and the Fruitland Fire Department. 2 canine dogs, were also here earlier this morning. They have since left, but crews are telling me that they are very hopeful and that they are grateful for all of the community support.
We just have to continue to process this, and if it yields, it yields. You know, I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do I hope? Not really. You know, I hope that Michael is still alive and that we can bring him home safely to his family. But we also know that we need to find resolution to this case, and you know, we need to just follow the leads and follow the credible information, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Crews have been out here since about 10 a.m. this morning, and they did take a brief break around lunchtime. There were some possible safety concerns for the crews regarding utility lines and such, but you can see now they have since resumed. Now, a family spokesperson said the family thanks the community for all of their supports, but that they're requesting privacy at this time. Now, as far as a timeline, we don't really have one. Crews are expected to work until it gets dark tonight, but the police chief did say that they will most likely be out here tomorrow. Continuing to work. Doug.
Abby, thank you for the update. And, you know, I think a lot of people share the chief's sentiments there about what this may yield for them.
For sure. I haven't checked Twitter in a little bit. There's a local reporter that has really been on it. She's kind of been like step by step, you know, Johnny on the spot. There's 2 dogs there. She's, you know, the dump truck is there. This is going on. So I haven't checked to see if they're back yet this morning. Are there any locals that know if they're back?
Brooks.
Yeah.
Brooks, I'll be right back. I got a phone call, okay?
Okay.
Let me look at these. I loaded these motions real quick. Hopefully I can read them on the screen. Let me do it like this. All right. So this is, can you read it from your phone, Kat?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Be a bit easier. No, it's okay.
I'm making Kat do all the work.
Where do you want to start from? A detention hearing is authorized. This is a motion for detention. This is the first page. I think it just tells you what a motion for detention is.
Okay,
motion for detention is authorized to determine whether any combination of condition will reasonably assure the appearance of defendants as required and the safety of any other person and the community, because this case involved a circumstance outlined in 18 U.S.C. 3142 FT. Basically, this is the reasons why he was detained.
Okay, now this one's a little hairier because I can't. It's very blurry on my end. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So on this one, it says things like the defendant is charged with a crime of violence as defined in 18 U.S.C., but these aren't checked. So none of these boxes next to them have a cross in them. So I think what David was saying.
Was the question, I believe.
So the one at the end, the one that is checked on this page has an X next to it in the brackets, and it says the defendant is charged with a felony that is not a crime of violence, but that involves a minor victim, possession or use of a firearm or destructive device, on those terms are defined in 18 USC, whatever the numbers are, or any other dangerous weapon, or the failure to register under 18 USC 2250 as required by the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act. And that was page 2.
But he's not a sex offender.
Right, but that's what we were saying. Why is that, though, in the brackets is the only one that has the X next to it on that whole page?
Yeah.
A detention hearing is authorised to determine whether any condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the appearance of the defendant as, and then it goes on to the next page. It's the only one that's got a check by it on that whole page. And then the next one, it says as required and the safety of any person in the community, because this case involves a circumstance outlined in 18 USC. And the next ones that have got checks says a serious risk exists that the defendant will flee. And the next one says a serious risk exists that the defendant will obstruct or attempt to obstruct justice, threaten, injure, or intimidate, or attempt to threaten, injure, or intimidate a prospective witness or juror. And that's the only one on that, though the only two on that page that's checked. And that was motion of detention, page 3.
Okay, let's go to page 3.
That was page 3. So the first two at the top are checked. And then the last page doesn't seem to have any of them checked. So I guess what we were asking is, are the checked ones the ones why he's been detained?
Mm-hmm.
And whether that, because, well, that's what I was asking. I don't know if that's what Leopard was asking. Obviously, he's on mute at the moment.
Well, and also I have a question because it seems like they both got into something back in April. He's been in jail since May, but not her.
Right.
She got picked up on Friday, and I agree with a lot of people in here. It's probably a violation of probation.
Right.
Or he's been talking in jail.
Yeah.
Pat had an idea. Pat said maybe a neighbor came forward once they both were in jail.
Yeah, maybe. Although they would have had to have come forward between Friday morning and Friday afternoon, because Friday afternoon was when they started searching the garden and Friday morning was when she was arrested. They would have to have got a probable cause warrant to search the property like that within a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
If he talked and she got arrested, they already had that warrant, I think.
Right.
Because it would have taken time for them to get enough evidence together to get a probable cause affidavit for that search, I think. But I don't understand this motion of detention at all, because like I said, that was the only thing that was highlighted, was he was charged with a felony that was not a crime of violence but involved a minor victim, possession or use of a firearm or destructive device, any other dangerous weapon, and failed to register under 18 as required Sex Offender Registration Notification Act. And that's not what he's in jail for, is it, really? It's not what he was detained for.
No, so I think they've been on to him for a while.
Right.
I really do. And like Snow was saying, she said, you know, guys, there could be more than two. It just, you know,
right.
It's never as simple as it seems in the beginning.
Right.
And even though he's been missing since, you know, July of 2021,
mm-hmm.
This, in some sense, is the beginning.
Right. Right. I get that. Yeah, I don't think that, well, to be honest, I never really even gave a time to think that this might be the outcome. And that's just purely because of holding on to hope with the family, you know, and just not letting myself believe any different to how they believe, because it was about keeping them strong and, you know, keeping the hope alive and stuff. I think this just, like you say, it's the beginning, because it's the beginning of completely different ending to the story. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but
Stacy said, are they digging now? No, I guess on Twitter, the local reporter that's been doing a great job. She said she's about an hour out, someone said. So once she gets there, she'll start reporting again of what goes on throughout the day. Brandy, this was posted on J is for Justice. I'll put the link up in the description in a second. She did address some stuff going on. She doesn't say any names, so I'm not going to fill in the blanks because I don't know exactly. But just as much as we want answers, and we want to help, the police are definitely involved. So very, very heavily involved. So I'm going to play this real quick.
Need a favor. Some of these YouTubers that are contacting potential suspects.
What?
Oh my fucking God. I'm sorry.
I missed what was said.
Stop. You have no right. This is my son. You have no right. Stop it. You are not law enforcement. And what you're doing is you are hindering Michael's case. Stop it, please. Let them do their jobs. They are doing an amazing job, and they continue to do an amazing job. And the things you're doing and pulling right now is unacceptable, because you know what you're doing? If some of these things that are going on right now are factual, you are hurting anything of justice for my son. Now stop it. Please. You have no right. What you have the rights to is to keep his face out there and to keep hope and to support law enforcement.
Yep.
No, don't be contacting these people, please. You don't know the damage you can do to a case. Please.
As if it isn't hard enough for her having to sit 4 minutes away from where this is all going on and not go over there when it's her son, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, and if Michael's mama is saying, leave it alone, that's not twisting anybody's words, that's not misinformation, anything like that. She's just saying, don't try to help. Don't try to help. Don't try to get information. I guess some people are saying, well, we don't want the wrong neighbor brought up or anything like that. Well, no, we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about that. Just as much as we want to help, it will unfold. It's not going to unfold today. Tomorrow. I'll be surprised if we hear anything concrete in a week. I've been surprised before. I hope to be surprised on this. But this mama breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And it's so much, like I said, well, several times in the show, I would not trade places with her for anything.
No, me either.
Anything. Nothing. I couldn't imagine. And to think, if it is what it seems, he's been 4 minutes away the whole time, the agony.
Yeah.
And nobody here would do anything like that. We're in good company. We're in good company here.
Absolutely.
I mean, the most that, I would even know to ask is, hey, what's going on there? Well, I can get that off Twitter.
Yep. Yeah.
The local reporter's doing a great job. And, some of these people that are, up in arms, well, you've been accusing the mom and the dad for 17 months. So, today's not the day.
Right.
To worry about someone trying to figure out why they're digging in a backyard.
Right. Today's not the day to be driving past their house just to see a glimpse of Brandy sitting outside on her bench,
Right.
As is also happening. It's not a sideshow. It's not a circus. It's not for your entertainment or amusement. It's about a 5-year-old child, her 5-year-old child. That was
Don't
taken.
get me wrong. We all want to know. We all want to know what's going on. We all want to know what the tip is. We want to know why Sarah was arrested, detained, I guess, on Friday. We all want to know we're going to know. We're going to hang out together and we're going to find out together.
Right. And that's how we'll find out. We won't find out because we're all going to go over and bombard Fruitland police and bombard the community. You know, they've got enough going on right now.
And also, I mean, this is more far reaching. I totally get what people say, you know, Michael is the victim. Michael is what matters. Absolutely. Absolutely. Michael is the ultimate victim, regardless of what they find in that backyard. If they find nothing, Michael is the victim. Mm-hmm. But so is his mom. So is his dad. Mm-hmm. So is his little sister. So is his brother, older brother. So is his sister, older sister. So is his grandparents, aunts, uncles. People of the community in one way or another have been victimized by whatever, I can't say whatever took place when he went missing. We don't know the motive. Whatever the motive is, it's not going to matter to me. It's going to be scumbag, sick, deviant behavior.
Absolutely. And it is the worst part, waiting, and it is the worst part, not knowing. But like I said earlier, it doesn't really matter what we go through in this community, online community, on YouTube. The fact is, anything that we're going through emotionally or otherwise, just multiply it by 1,000,000 and try to imagine that it's a hell of a lot worse than that for this family going through this right now.
Reed Deeply said the community can't help if law enforcement doesn't share info. And that in itself is a tip. If they're not telling you what's going on, it's because they don't need the help. They got it under control. When Michael went missing, they had the community out in droves, separated into groups. You go this way, you go this way, you check this way, you go to the field, you go to this neighborhood, you go to this block. They needed the help. They've got it under control now.
Yep.
If everybody jumps in, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. If they need our help, I'm not in the community. If they need the community's help, they're not shy. They'll ask. So I'm going to go through the most recent news clip. This was from 8 hours ago. Well, now it'd be like 10 hours because I've been gabbing with you guys. It would help if I pushed play.
And welcome to the Sunday News at 10. I'm Doug Petcash. The search for Michael Vaughan continues. Michael went missing from his neighborhood in Fruitland in July of 2021. He was just 5 years old at the time. Law enforcement has spent the last year and a half investigating. But the Fruitland police chief says a credible tip led investigators to a home near Michael's neighborhood this weekend. News Channel 7's Abby Davis was at the scene for a long time earlier today. So, Abby, what is the latest information in the search for Monkey?
Doug, Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff told me they haven't found Michael yet, but they recently got a search warrant for a house near the Vaughan family home. The department confirmed they are looking for Michael's possible remains. And crews started working Friday night. Here's a map of the area. You can see it on your screen now. You can see just where the home they are searching is into proximity to where Michael's home is. It's only about 4 minutes away. Huff says they're excavating the entire backyard and plan to dig 3 to 4 feet deep. It was an all-hands-on-deck operation. Idaho State Police, Fruitland Police, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Fruitland Public Works, and the Fruitland Fire Department were at the scene. 2 human remains scent dogs were also there for a little while. Huff says they've received more than 1,500 leads since Michael's disappearance, and that they're determined to find Michael and bring some closure to his family.
We just have to continue to process this. And if it yields, it yields. You know, I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do I hope? Not really. You know, I hope that Michael is still alive and that we can bring him home safely to his family. But we also know that we need to find resolution to this case. And, you know, we need to just follow the leads and follow the credible information. And that's what we'll continue to do.
Huff says they took all of the dirt that has been excavated so far to an off-site location where it will be processed. Crews wrapped up for the day around 6 o'clock tonight, but the area remains taped and closed. Doug.
So, Abby, does Chief Huff know how long this part of the process will take?
Not at this time. He said it will take a while to get done and that it's really just arduous work, but that they're confident in the information that they've received and they'll be back tomorrow.
And we'll continue to follow it. Abby, thank you so much.
She has really, really been on it, been so respectful, not asking stuff that she knows they can't answer, you know?
Yeah.
It's been sometimes you want them to go all in and sometimes you're like, "Can we do some baby steps here?"
Yeah.
Also, I mean, we do not and cannot, because we cannot get warrants and we can't obtain people's information. We can dig around online all we want. People pay money for background checks and everything. It still to this day blows my mind. But anyway, we don't have any access to anything law enforcement has access to. Pings, GPS on cars that would have been driven during that time. It's maddening, but well, I shouldn't say it's maddening. We don't have access to it. It will all come out. And in the meantime, we're going to keep Michael's name out there.
Yep.
Supporting those that are hurting so badly.
Yep.
And there was a few people over the weekend. I said, listen, turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I turned it off for a minute.
Yeah, I think you have to there's always a point, or at least one point, if not several points during every case, especially the ones that you're most kind of heavily invested in emotionally, where you have to do that. You have to even just take 5 minutes and turn it off, or 10 minutes and do something in your real life, because ultimately all decent creators on YouTube want to do is help or support. We know we haven't got the answers. We know we can't, solve very many of these cases by ourselves or whatever. But the main thing is we have the victims at heart. And if you don't take that time to turn it off and do something to look after yourself, you can't give everything that you want to give to the cases on YouTube. So I think it works out well to do that sometimes. That's not disrespect.
Yeah. It's been a long couple days.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, you're exactly right. She says, I just can't ignore that Sarah was pretty silent until Monkey went missing on Facebook. Then it was all about repentance, fire, brimstone. Yeah. And I get what people say about, oh, you're trolling their Facebook. You're trolling their Facebook. Well, that's their personal Facebook that they are sharing public things on. This is the post of hers that really, really gets me. It's not what she shared. It's what she typed. It's what she put in there. Watch out. You are walking into traps. Guard your children. Take it from me, I promise. Now, from my understanding, like I said, these people are new to us. They don't have children. I didn't see any posts where they wanted children, trying to have children, anything like that.
No, I think you're right. And I mean, I'm really not the best person to kind of, analyze overly religious stuff. It does my head in. Just because I think this is my personal opinion, I think faith should be a lot more personal than that. But a lot of the stuff that I saw and watched and read yesterday had really, really dark undertones to it. And I'm not just talking about, oh, that's a little bit dark. This was stuff that really made me almost gag. It was quite grim. This whole hellfire and brimstone to me kind of seems like a bit of a cover for something a lot darker going on underneath the surface.
Well, it's like, I take that post two ways. One way is maybe they got wrapped up into something that they didn't know, and that's why they posted that, or that was to have people not look into what's going on. Maybe police and dogs and everything were over in that neighborhood early on. And there could be reasons for every post that they did. But I can also see maybe they got involved with the wrong people. There is a video of the Cadillac Escalade at the park in their driveway with another person in it. And these are all public things. Anybody can go see it.
Right.
And it just questions a lot of things. Was it meant for, maybe they got involved with bad people? And I don't know. Or maybe they're just the bad people themselves. We don't know. Only time will tell.
But isn't it interesting how I just wanted to sort of make a bit of a connection in my mind was, isn't it interesting how some of the people that you think could have done like the worst things in life that people could possibly do really throw religion out there as a real deflection? It's kind of this whole like jailhouse religion thing that we've seen before in other cases, you know, where people suddenly get very religious and it's almost like a deflection from what they've really done or what's been really going on.
Exactly. And I agree with Lenny, because even the person that never misses church on Sunday is going to look at some of those posts she put up and go, what? What?
Yeah.
I don't know what she's mumbling about either.
I mean, the whole thing about the fortune cookie, I don't know if you saw that one, but that just blew my whole entire head apart. I was just like, you are properly saying that a fortune cookie is a satanic force to be reckoned with. My whole brain just blew apart, and I was just sat there like, what the actual... Nope. Yeah, I think Diane P just said what I was thinking.
Yeah, they are weird critters for sure. We don't know, like I said, we know that they are excavating a backyard in relation to his disappearance, and they're looking for remains. They did not mince those words at all. There's nothing to read into there. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say this, and the law enforcement in this case, hats off to them. Amazing work that they've been doing since day one. And I called not too long ago to check up on a tip that was done behind the scenes, and the detective was very, very, very nice. What was the lead? What was the tip? I gave the name of the person that sent it in, and pulled it up. They had notes. They had everything down. They gave me reasons why, and they were receiving thousands and thousands of tips per week, which we need to continue to do. We don't know if he's there.
Right.
There's a very, very good reason why they're there. But at the same time, we still need to continue thinking. And if you know something, obviously come forward.
Right. Right. And, you know, they've asked the same in Quentin Simon's case as well, even though they're searching the landfill, and even though they think that they know who did it and what happened, they still want people to send in credible tips. But that's the point. The tips have got to be credible. You can't just think of something off the top of your head and be sending it in for analysis, you know?
Yeah, they don't want my bright idea, and they're certainly not going to investigate anything I call. You know, I'm sure they've had a million "have you thought of this" phone calls. I mean, we obviously know, if you look at the screen, they have a very credible tip, because no judge is going to sign a warrant to go dig up a backyard, excavate, peel back layers, if you know what I mean, off a hunch.
It kind of makes me think that they've been working on it. They've worked on this for a while. I think they may have had some kind of idea for a while, because it's just seemed, she got arrested in the early hours of the morning, and that afternoon they start digging up her garden. That isn't a warrant that got signed in between times, I don't think. I think they've been working on for a while.
So I haven't had the chance to do this yet. Have you looked at to see if she had a court date like last week?
I have nothing new on her.
Just because those other charges are still pending, and it's been 7 months, and I don't know if plea deals are being made or what's going on, but I just know that when those are some pretty serious charges that she has from April, and it does when you're going to have to serve time onto something, it changes a lot of things, and people start stepping up and coming forward. And I don't know, that could be a part of it. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here in what I have seen by the documents that I've seen. I haven't dug that deep yet. So.
Well, and that is true too, because if we look in the Delphi case with Keegan Klein, he had court coming up. He had trial coming up in January, and suddenly we see a flood of activity. And well, now we have somebody charged for double murder. We don't know why. All that stuff is sealed, and that's on them. So it could be that too. They could have had court coming up. I haven't found it. I haven't found that they have any court dates coming up, or they have court today, or anything like that.
Well, it's also weird that he's been detained this whole time, and with the charges that she has, I'm surprised that she's out in society. But I don't know. Maybe there was bonds in both of them, and only one got paid. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of different variables here, but those, I don't know. There was 3 felony accounts on that sheet that you showed. And I don't know how much the sentencing is for something like that. But when you really think about whether you want to be on the inside or on the outside, anybody in their right mind is going to do anything and everything they can to remain on the outside. And I'm thinking here, and these are my opinions, and just the thought I had.
Well, and also I totally forgot, because goodness, the weekend felt 5 days long with everything going on. I totally forgot Friday was a holiday.
Oh yeah, it's Veterans Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, the courts weren't even open on Friday.
Right.
She can't have court today for disposal of a body. They haven't found anything. If disposal of a body, she wouldn't have been out and about. If anybody has that, send it to me as soon as possible. I do know there's something about concealing evidence. I do want to know what that's about. That would be a very, very, very hefty bond to have to make to get out for something like that. Anything's possible in this world, though. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I live in Illinois.
Man, oh man. We're going to keep following it, guys, though. Anything that goes on, I'll put it on the community tab. Of course, we've been discussing this heavily all weekend, or since Friday evening, in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. But I'm going to start shutting this down, because right now we don't really have anything. They haven't started more of their dig today. Unless anybody can think of anything else.
Well, we know that you'll keep us up to date anyway when things happen.
All of us will. It takes an army.
Yep.
This information's been flooding. I'm telling you. Well, Kat, I appreciate you coming up, and the way that you have stayed on top of this case, your love for the family, your compassion. It's your work on this has been awesome. Level.
Thank you.
Dude, you've been on top of this for sure.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing before I leave. When there is a missing child, everybody gets investigated. You don't blame people that are victims of a missing child until evidence and stuff points to the fact, so they get treated as a victim until they're not. And that's a good lesson for everybody to learn. And I'm speaking that the pointing of fingers at parents, especially these 2 parents that have been through a lot of social media terror. And when you go and watch other cases and other stuff that happens in the world, just be mindful, be kind. And if ever you're in a situation that you see something, definitely do the right thing and say something.
Yeah.
So, and thank you, Brooks, for having me. And Kat, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Level. Thanks, Brooks. I'll catch up with you in Discord, guys.
See you guys over in Discord or on Facebook or whatever.
Goodbye.
I'm always around. Thanks, Level. Thank you, Kat. All right, guys, this is a lot to take in. I know I've said it a million times. I'm beating a dead horse here. I wouldn't trade places with this family for anything. I can't imagine what they're going through. I don't know. Brandy is, she's a fighter. She's a scrappy gal. And I don't know how they're holding her back, because you know she's wanting to get over there badly. She's not going to. She certainly doesn't want anything to mess up justice for her son. That is for certain. And we don't either. We don't either. All right, guys, I'll see you over in Discord or in the Facebook group. Make sure you sub real quick and hit your reminder, because anything that happens, if it's something that we can shed light on, we will go live and definitely talk about it. So you guys are the absolute best community chat, classy, compassionate people, and I am definitely blessed to know you. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.